What's going on, guys? Happy Friday. Guys ready to watch some classic Rocky Marciano fights? It's going to be sweet. Hopefully you guys all had a great week. For me, it was freezing cold. I don't think it got above 0. Jake Paul's getting ready for I haven't heard anything about Masvidal and Jake Paul, but I can't imagine them liking each other all too much, tall kid. I did not see his MMA training. I didn't even realize Jake knew how to do any MMA. Oh, great. Will Ryan Garcia and Davis fight one day? Possibly. Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon, if you ask me. Because the biggest problem you have is both of them, both people that run them, their backgrounds are just people that want to make a lot of money. You know. So I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if we end up not seeing them fight. So, what's going on, John? All right. So, first fight we're going to be doing. It's considered one of the best fights, if not the best fight. B3, what's going on, dude? If not the best. I would love both those guys to fight. We know that Ryan Garcia is going to most likely be fighting Isaac Cruz in the spring. Davis is probably going to keep something in-house. Davis is committed to 135 now, so there is hope. There is hope for it to happen. Better than there was. When Davis was bouncing around in weight classes, who knows? But now there's a lot better chance. A lot better chance. So it's not impossible. It's not impossible. That's for sure. It used to be really tough to make kind of that case because you just never knew what you were going to get from either one of those guys. So Jersey Joe Wilcock versus Rocky Marciano is the very first fight. Little preface here. Jersey Joe is the champion at the time. Marciano had never won the heavyweight title. Marciano technically wouldn't be a heavyweight at this time. He was closer to 185 pounds. But, as we all know, Marciano was all grit. Shrek. So, I want Ryan to win just because you want to see the story continue that Floyd's prodigy losing to Hispanic fighters. Oh, God. Shrek. Well, don't worry about it. We're going to be watching Marciano for a while. And so tomorrow. So let's talk real quick before we do this. Tomorrow there's no fight. There's no fight in the UFC, and there's no fight in boxing at all. So instead, I had an idea. Was this. Does anyone know what this is? Anyone have a clue? Might look familiar to some of you, but much smaller than what most people. This is a little Raspberry Pi. So on here, I have probably 4,000 games. Super Nintendo, original Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy Color, Game Gear, everything is on just this. So what I decided that we'd do tomorrow is play classic boxing games on stream. And let me tell you, they are horrendous. It is like Ali. There's an Ali boxing game. There's a George Foreman boxing game. There's a Chavez boxing game. It's Evander Holyfield had a boxing game. This thing has Atari on it. It has everything. This thing has basically every major console. Buster Douglas had one. Yep. So I went through today, and I basically favorited all of them and figured out where they were and which systems. And so tomorrow we can play all of the classic boxing games. And this will show you why today we are so unfortunate in terms of the volume of boxing games, but we are fortunate in the quality of boxing games. We have classic Mike Tyson Punch-Out. We have all of them, all of those, plus some of the classic, just general fight games. Might even sneak in there a little NBA Jam from Super Nintendo, which is one of my all-time favorite games ever. I never played Punch-Out on Wii. I don't think I did. I might have. Oh, we have Mario, like all the Marios. Literally, I have an actual Super Nintendo. I have a legit Super Nintendo. So tomorrow we'll be doing normal stream time. It'll be 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be doing it right around then. And so we'll just do all classic video games. And it'll be a lot of fun. I do not, 407. I can't seem to find any information about that fight either. I was looking around. I was just like trying to see if we could find a fight for tonight. And it's just like, I can't find anything on it, let alone to stream on it. So I figured, you know what? If we can't have boxing, we might as well play classic boxing games. But John, they're all the systems that like you got to play. You could have played at one point. Let's see. I'll see if I have any information on that fight for you. Yeah, he was tiny for a heavyweight in comparison today. Even tall kid, there's other fights you see him fighting against like Joe Louis, and he looks tiny compared to Joe Louis. So anyways, let's start off with the fights. But yeah, tomorrow, it's super fun to play that on a Bluetooth version of a classic Super Nintendo controller. So we'll be doing that tomorrow.
That we see that's important. Here they go.
Jersey Joe at the time was the heavyweight champion.
That MARCIANO is an amateur and looks as if he might be
look at him
right
in comparison to Wolcott right now. He's tiny in comparison.
Joe definitely was doing, as you saw. MARCIANO staggered with a short right.
Oh!
Down from a left hook. The count was 5. He went down from a left hook.
Oh, I know. Totally different. The rules, everything. I mean, there's a lot going on in these fights. The gloves were different. I mean, he just Volkov just blatantly rabbit punched him.
Now for the first time.
Oh yeah, Jack Johnson's days, yeah, they used to fight way more than 15. I think Marciano, once you got to this level, I think they were. They definitely were at this level.
Left hook again, powerful.
Even before these guys, there were full-time fighters. Braddock in particular, if you watch Cinderella Man, you get to kind of see the inner workings of how the financial side of boxing was at certain points, right before the Depression and during the Depression, actually.
Those punches did not land solidly that Marciano threw. And there's the bell, ending round one, very definitely Walters.
So this one, in terms of quality, is probably going to be one of the lower quality streams or I should say fights. There's a couple I found that were remastered, colorized, all that stuff.
With Felix Bokikio, his manager, leaning over, talking to him very calmly.
Boxing was not just popular, Talkit, it was the #1 sport in the entire country. It was the biggest sport in the country. These guys were like Tom Brady, Michael Jordan level.
And won him the title, by the way.
When
Marciano took
Joe Louis fought Max Schmeling the second time, they put radios down Broadway
and as we told
so people could listen because it was at Yankee Stadium.
Said that this would be an easy
Baseball wasn't that big back then. Babe Ruth was one of the big players that started to make baseball big.
Round two.
Basketball wasn't even a thing. The NFL was starting to kind of gain a little bit of steam towards the 50s.
Marciano doesn't appear to have been too badly hurt. He seems fresh again. He's very strong.
Oh, I don't know if it was a billion, because I don't know if a billion people even had closed circuit TVs back then, but a lot of people watched. I mean, it was Super Bowl level, which is over 100 million. Crazy. I mean, astronomical numbers. If it's on Wiki, then it's probably true.
Right hand. Joe punches with either one of them.
So at this point, these guys are basically some of the biggest athletes in the entire country, if not the most famous athletes in the country.
Dramatic every second of it because the dynamite is in both gloves.
How is it different than pay-per-view? Oh, God. So, there was no pay-per-view. Let me get the technical terms for you, Telekid. I didn't even grow up with close circuit.
Marciano hasn't figured out what to do with Joe, if he can do anything.
Oh, it was a video service. Oh, wait. No, hold on. No. If I'm not mistaken, it was localized more, if I'm not mistaken.
Body punch by Marciano. I hope you saw it clearly. Very solid body punch.
Basically, if you research it today, they just go by surveillance cameras. So
Those are stunning, powerful blows that Joe is landing.
I mean, when you watch Rocky Marciano's footwork, man, it was very much he wasn't dancing around you. He was just coming right at you.
And the bell, the end of round 2.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, that fight was massive.
They're busy, as you can see, or could see a moment ago, in Marciano's corner as the boy goes around with the ring card. Now you can see again Al Weil talking to him, pleading with him.
I mean, not everyone had a TV,
yet,
too.
Marciano seems to be, but he was hurt, especially in that first round, although the passing of the second ran in his favor. 10 years the younger man, still strong as a bull, still powerful, still dangerous. He won't be out of here until he's taken out. And so far, Joe hasn't been able to do it, though he punished him in both rounds. The first round, however, was bigger, the one with the knockdown and the fight.
Wolcott, you can tell, is a little bit more of a bigger guy.
Round 3.
Definitely moves a little bit better. I would say, I think there's pay-per-view in the 80s. So I believe so. Not 100% sure on that. I mean, pay-per-view was...
Walcott landed, and Marciano countered with a grazing right hand. Walcott's was the left hook.
That's what I believe. Yeah, I thought so.
In Marciano's corner, they're hollering, keep him up, but there's been no low punch, I assure you.
Wolcott is just so much bigger build compared to Marciano. When you look at the back of Wolcott, I mean, it's huge compared to Rocky.
Walcott continues to beat Rocky to the punch as Rocky rushes in.
I mean, Rocky had that kind of classic style where he used his face for defense.
Good right hand, solid right to the ribs. With his short arms, Marciano has trouble reaching Walcott, who has a much longer reach. Taller man, of course.
I mean, back then, imagine being a ref back then. You had your freaking work made out for you.
Landed by Walcott, but not a serious blow.
Yeah.
Walcott missed and Rocky landed.
I mean, when Joshua fights, they said there's like 2 million people that pirate it in
He's strong,
like Nigeria
Marciano.
alone. Every time he fights. Yeah. So, I mean, the bigger question, Tall Kid, is not can it be big, but if it can be big again in the U.S. in a significant way.
At the bell, ending round 3, Marciano staggered. It was a left hook. Walcott was moving away. Not a very solid punch, but he did stagger, and then turned and went back to his corner. It was the best round that Marciano has had, that last round, the third. He began to come on a little bit, and he worked
Yeah,
hard
I agree
to
with that, Tall Kid,
Walcott's
absolutely.
body. And Joe is breathing very heavily in his corner.
And then the argument
right now,
always is, well, Josh was also
taking
bigger in
long
Africa,
breaths.
so
And
I'm like,
Marciano
okay.
still seems to be unmarked and quite cool. There was a little
But in terms of, you know, who's
blood in
paying
his
the
mouth
most for
after the
watching
first round, but
premium
no more.
boxing, it's the
And
U.S.
now we're coming to
Major
round 4. It's a
sponsorships,
good
also
fight.
Josh's 2 biggest sponsorships
Something's
are
apt
from
to
the
happen any
U.S.
time now. Marciano, the aggressor.
Hey, what's going on, dude? Oh, yeah, man. We got a couple of his fights in here where it's unbelievable he lived through the fights. Oh, yeah, well, who else is Nigerian? Francis Ngannou's Nigerian, as well as Israel Adesanya's Nigerian. Usman's Nigerian.
Now, though. They have a healthy respect for each other, and they should have.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I was wrong about that.
Both can hit with either hand.
The round girls are flat. They didn't quite have the talented surgeons that they do today, John, back then.
Very good right hand there by Marciano.
Good question, JD. Let me look that up for you.
Rocky is awkward, but he's not too easy to hit inside. All elbow.
Jesus Christ. Jersey Joe was 200 pounds during this fight, and Rocky Marciano was 184 pounds.
Working to Walcott's body. Walcott stands with his back to the rope. Pretty stationary for Joe. They're both still hitting very hard. Round 6.
Jersey Joe was born in 1914.
Because of his short arms, you notice Marciano
This
has to
fight
loosen the punch.
happened in, I believe it's 52. So he was no spring chicken. So he was 38 years old.
Notice how, as a
Yeah.
rule at least, Walcott
I mean, for a guy that's almost 40.
Now he broke free. Now
The-
Joe's got him
the-
again.
He beats everyone.
Joe knows how.
Good question, by the way. The pressure was insane for
Marciano
Marciano.
barraging his punches then. 1, 2, 3, 4. No return. But none landed really solidly and dangerously.
That's, I mean, to look the way Jersey Joe did at that time as the champion. Yes. Yeah, G-Fig. He's always been he's not much of a mover. He's a very forward, backward style fighter. He was never much of a not much lateral movement from him. He was, I'm going to make you tired. I'm going to eat a billion punches, and I'm going to just keep coming forward. And I'm going to, I mean,
you're probably not seeing these punches. They're hard by both fighters. Marciano is now cut.
Jeff, what's going on?
Walcott is cut around the eye. Walcott's cut around the eye. That may be his blood on Marciano's forehead. I can't be sure.
I mean, Marciano at this point is started to take that turn where he's just landing brutal shots.
With Walcott rolling and taking punches, and that
against a guy that's 15 pounds heavier than him. He's beating on. It's just wild.
The referee goes over to talk to Boquicchio and Dan Florio.
Slick-footed in this era. I mean,
I don't think, from what I can see, that is a
you're talking about in particular in the heavyweight division. Probably not as many in the heavyweight division. Lighter-weight division.
From Walcott's eye. He cut. No, he was a little bit, I believe.
Any?
A little cut right up in his hair that I couldn't see.
I mean, Sugar Ray Robinson would have been around.
Neither cut on either fighter is serious.
So,
Walcott slow to come out.
He moved pretty damn well, say the least. He moved okay. So, you had Robinson. Yeah, if I hope so. The biggest problem is White's in arbitration right now for March with the WBC, and apparently Fury says that he's not going to fight White. He's just going to fight and not use the WBC championship belt during the fight in March. But I would love for him to fight White. I would love for that to get worked out. Joe Louis had pretty decent footwork. Joe Louis looks huge compared to Rocky Marciano, too. Granted, he didn't have the best footwork, as smooth as footwork.
The action is very slow right now.
A few years younger than this, you had Willie Pep. You had Armstrong that was a little bit younger, too.
Walcott's white trunks red with blood down the front.
There were guys at lower weight classes, but heavyweight, not as much. Where you saw guys that were really slick.
And that exchange.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jeff knows exactly what's coming up.
Marciano's was a little harder. Hard to tell.
It's a beautiful KO. Jack Dempsey was very flat-footed. Jack Dempsey's style had never really been done before. There wasn't a lot of that whole pressure style wasn't really a thing until then.
Marciano's face is a crimson mess from that cut up in his hair.
I think
down between his
Dillian
eyes.
White would take the fight. The problem is he has arbitration. He has to go through arbitration with the WBC, which he did himself. Didn't help him. But we'll see. Because he's still the Mando, so.
Marciano got in a good straight left jab. He hadn't landed many of those.
How quickly they can get through arbitration, I don't know. Oh, huge shot. That Rocky just ate. Not much of a feeling out process back then either when they were fighting.
And the bell for the end of round 7.
I have to agree with you, Jeff. I don't think Fury's scared to fight anybody at this point in the heavyweight division. Everyone's had moments where they've looked somewhat vulnerable. White got knocked out by a 40-year-old Povetkin. And he's gotten hurt by Parker. He's gotten hurt by Chisora. It's not like White doesn't go in there and get hurt in fights. He's dangerous with the left hook, but he can be hit. You know? And it's not like Fury doesn't have a hell of a chin.
Didn't bother him too much in the last round. From now on, you might figure years to count that.
White, I understand. He wants his moment. He wants to get his pay. I get it.
But Walker looks very fresh.
Tyson Fury, the problem is that when he first came back, everyone saw that Wilder fight and was like, oh, he's pillow-fisted. Fighting at 244 pounds. When he went to 275 pounds, little different. 30-pound difference. That's a lot of extra weight. But on Fury, obviously being 6'9", that's a lot of extra power. You gotta remember, Fury lost something like 150 plus pounds in 18 months before going into that first Wilder fight. That's crazy.
Well, but actually, if that eye might be bothering him, he doesn't seem to be seeing too clearly.
Oh, he was huge. He was 400 pounds.
Looks that way.
I mean, yeah, I have to agree with you, Jeff. I have to agree with you 100% on that. Is he Wilder level power? No. I would say he has pretty darn close to Joshua level power, though. I would say maybe Joshua has a little bit more.
Not too bad,
but then it's always hard to tell because it's not like we have apples to apples to compare everything. But I mean, every one of those guys that are in the top 5 have some level of power that can knock you out. Easy. Dillian White can put people to sleep. I mean, all of them. Every single one of them. I know, Usyk, see, that's the other thing, too. People always talk about, like, Usyk not hitting hard. It's not even about, like, having raw, crazy power. It's when you hit somebody and they're not on balance and they're not expecting it, it hurts a lot more than when they're expecting it. And Usyk hits you and he gets you wobbled, and then he hits you again 4 more times before you can even know what's going on. Plus, you gotta remember, he's come up in weight now. He's probably gained a little bit of oomph. Yeah, he moaned about it for over 2 years. And yeah, it was not the man. I know. The whole thing is just craziness with White and that whole deal with the WBC.
Eyes are squinted. I don't know whether maybe he's not seeing too well either.
I'd say it's probably 95% guaranteed that it's going to be AJ versus Usyk this spring. Basically, that's what I've seen constantly. Eddie's saying that, Joshua's saying that, Usyk's saying that, which is a good sign.
They're trying to get that, whatever it is, chemical or something.
Oh, no. That Fury looked
MARCIANO's eye.
less mobile in the third fight than I expected, but he looked really powerful in the third fight.
Weil is again talking to the...
Like in the second fight, it was obvious that there was issues with the equilibrium of Wilder. He got hit in the head and his equilibrium went. But in the third fight, that was just raw power. I guarantee G-Fig is probably going to be in Dubai. Probably going to be in the Middle East. Most likely. I know, I saw that. Virgil's going to be in... Our boy Virgil's going to be in March. God, love watching Virgil Ortiz. I know we got Munguia. Who else did they announce? Oh, Ryder versus Danny Jacobs, also in February 14th. Yes. And then we also got Chocolatito and Estrada. I know, Galahad. And they had the third, avoiding the third Lara fight. I have to agree with you, Ganja Warrior. And now he's going back to fight Kiko Martinez. It's like this weird. I don't understand why he didn't fight Lara again. He was winning that fight, that second fight, until that headbutt. Paul Kid, is that the new Raider Stadium? If I'm not mistaken. Oh my goodness. True. Josh Warrington was looking really sharp in the first couple rounds against Lara. Yeah, I thought that was the Raiders one. A Bermuda Triangle of ducks. I love it. That's freaking awesome. That's hilarious. Wilcock is so freaking mean in this fight.
MARCIANO very powerful with that left to the body and back to the head.
Dude, Derek Lewis is fighting again this soon? Hell yes.
Rocky's eyes are open again in this round.
And then we have Ngannou fighting this month against the Shoey boy. Oh shit! No kidding. That's a fun fight.
Neither seems to have a knockdown punch now, however.
Whoever wins, whether it's Lewis or Shoey, they both need to drink beer afterwards. I saw that, Tall Kid. I wish it was. I was going to go to that fight. Oh, man. Israel Adesanya. I can't wait to see that kid fight again. He's super fun to watch. He's super fun to watch.
Beautiful right hand by MARCIANO. Short right to the chin. One of the best punches Rocky has landed.
Get ready. These two are going to war. 2022 is going to be a great year for fights. It's going to be a great year for fights. I can't wait. I'm so pumped. Like 2021, we got some bangers of fights. Unbelievable fights.
Was that MARCIANO, who had squinted badly through the 8th round, looked as if something was happening to his eyes, got his eyes wide open.
I couldn't believe how good 2021 turned out to be.
Seemed to be all right. Now, Wilder was complaining that something that had been put on the cut.
I would love for him to fight more than twice, Tall Kid, but we don't know until we see what he wants to do.
Well, but whatever it was seems to have
because his Mando is for the WBC is Benavidez.
A close, tough, hard fight with only,
but
one knockdown.
As we know, the WBC loves Canelo, and they're willing to like move mountains. So if he wants to put that on the back burner and do some light heavyweight or cruiserweight, they'll allow it. Oh, that's great, Shrek. Couple hours a day? Hell yeah. At this point, you can see even in this poor quality, what do you think Wilder will fight again? They're going to give him a light touch. He is G-Fig. That is going to be coming up pretty soon in 2022 as well. That'll be a good fight for Josh to do right in front of his home people.
Walcott's a little more of a target now, a little easier to hit than he's been, but left jab is
I think we might see Wilder fight. I think it's going to be a light touch though. I'd like to see him jump in the ring with like Joe Joyce or someone like that to kind of keep him in that top 10 range, but we'll see.
MARCIANO hit him with a
Jersey
good
Joe
right
just
hand
ate a
brought that
huge
silly
shot
grin
and just
to
smiled at
Walker's
Rocky.
face, and now Joe was holding on there for a moment.
I know. I know. We got everybody fighting early on. It's going to be great.
Marciano is mean to the body.
Yeah, right, G-Pick? I'll have to check that out. That Brazil. Yeah, there we go. Dominic Brazil. What's going on, Steve?
All they've got. Joe's taking it. So is Rocky.
You inspired this, Steve.
Fifth, dying again. He's a wonder, this old...
I mean, Wolcott's just ducking this. Because you said last stream, you're like, do you ever do like older stuff? More like black and white. So I was like, you're right. We should do some older stuff. So I was like, let's do some Rocky Marciano. I would love to know the landed percentage in this fight. Oh my gosh, huge right hand from Rocky. The landed percentage from Rocky Marciano in this fight. The amount of wild punches. Oh, another huge right. Dear Lord, like the fact you can hear it in this like videos this old. Holy smokes.
Okay, now we're coming down to the decisive rounds of this fight. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 for the heavyweight championship
oh yeah,
of the world.
We're hoping. I'm hoping May. That makes the most sense to me,
Shrek. Bang and a rush with old Joe Walker, the champion, knocking young Rocky Marciano, 10 years his junior, down with a left hook. First time that Marciano ever had been put on the canvas. Took a 5 and came up, and from that time on, they have fought steadily and hard.
He always fights in May. He always fights Cinco de Mayo, and he always fights in September. The gloves they were using back then didn't have much in them. I mean, you look at classic.
Walker's face is beginning to pop. Right hand.
Ounce-wise, let me look it up for you, see if I can find. So I believe they're 8-ounce gloves.
Rocky's still after him, unrelenting, fighting after him. Awkward, but he's getting in there, getting that left hand home.
I believe they would have been probably 8 ouncers. Oh yeah, all horsehair. All horsehair. Which, as you guys may or may not know, it's like
tying him up.
Couple rounds, and that's basically, there is no padding.
The pace is very slow. Lefts and rights, Bob Walker's head side to side.
I've seen 1950s gloves for sale, and oftentimes they're about 2 ounces shy of what we normally have today. Even their training gloves are 2 ounces shy of what we use today.
With everything he had.
Oh man, Wolcott got him dizzy. I mean, it could. You never know. Shrek, to your point, man. Marciano's eyes bleeding bad.
Badly cut under the eye, Marciano.
This is a really important round, round 11 in particular.
Walker trying to finish him. He's got him pretty near helpless.
Absolutely. Absolutely easier to break your hand. It's not like these guys are throwing with the best technique either.
Fight now if he can finish him. Old Joe's calling on everything he's got. Everything. Another hard left hand.
I mean, look at Rocky Marciano and the way he throws his punches. He's just trying to use his hands as just a club. Yeah, brawlers at their fight is exactly. Oh yeah, all offense, no defense. I remember watching a documentary on the styles of boxing at this time too. And Rocky Marciano has that very classic, like, Italian style of boxing.
Drove the right to the body. Marciano sagged and fell into the left hand, and it hurt. It hurt. And for the rest of the round, Marciano did
Saunders,
very little. He punched just
I thought would be a little bit tougher too. I think that was about right what I expected. He won a couple rounds, but I didn't expect too much more because Billy Joe Saunders is like notoriously inconsistent.
What has made him champion of the world and why he stays that
Plant
way,
has been
while
consistent.
all the
That's
people
probably
wonder
why.
how he can with all these years. Here we go, round 12.
So this is generally considered for a lot of people, Rocky Marciano's like one of his best fights, if not his best fight. Because he's not a champion at this point. He has to dig deep. He's getting just hit with huge bombs. I know, Smith did nothing. Rocky Marciano's about 15 pounds lighter than Wolcott.
Rocky is finding no stationary target here.
He weighed in at 184 pounds. Wolcott was a couple pounds shy of 200.
The old brown bomber out.
I mean,
straight left jab.
He's not much of a mover, but he's that classic, like, inanimate, like, he just, like, you're not going to move him. Once Rocky starts going towards you, it's pretty hard to keep him off of you. Oh yeah, I mean, Canelo and his team, the actual game planning that went into all those fights, Shrek.
Walker seems able to take anything Marciano can throw, however. At least he has.
Because, like, against Smith, I thought for sure he's going to try to, like, work the body, try to find a way inside. He was out jabbing Smith, which was, like, unbelievable.
Again a bit from that cut.
Good question, tall kid. I'm guessing.
Under Marciano's eye.
Smith's pretty tough. He's also a lot taller, so maybe it was a little bit. He didn't want to risk leaving his chin too far out by reaching too much. I don't know. I thought he was gonna stop him for sure, but Smith just hung on. I have to rewatch that fight. I haven't watched that in a little while.
Rocky rushing in, still gamely trying. Can he walk it? Staying out of range, leaping back, moving all the time.
I mean, people think it's a bad fight because they want to see a different fight, Shrek. That's always the case. And someone says, oh, that's a bad fight, it's because they don't like it. Because they want to see something else. Gloves had, yeah, they were way worse quality. Yeah, they're not what they are today at all. Material-wise, everything.
Get tired sometime, but he never does. And round 12 ends in much the same pattern as most of the previous round. And now if the old fella's going to get tired, we're coming to the time.
Like I said earlier, Wolcott was 38 years old during this fight. And the output,
number coming up,
my goodness.
Watch him still giving.
I wonder when Daniel Dubois is going to get back in the ring.
Still hopeful that he can catch up with the old
Shrek, I also heard not only is he fighting in
down,
February, he's going to try to fight and dabble at heavyweight.
Felix Boquiquio, manager of Walcott, Stands very
I think
cool,
David
very
Benavidez would
calm,
go the
looks down
distance.
and talks to friends
I
in
think
the
that's
press
very
rows.
possible.
Incidentally,
38
their
years old,
sparse
Steve.
furniture tonight from
Wolcott's
10
38,
foreign
Marciano's
countries, one from
28
as
at the
far away
time
as Bombay
of
and
this fight.
India. That's a long way to come to any prize fight. And now we go round 13.
It's hard to tell. I
Unlucky
mean, the
number.
output's insane.
Maybe.
He is, I think, I agree, Shrek. I
Well,
saw that
Crazy
407,
is
and I was like,
staying
good
away
for
now
you,
because-
Gabe.
Right hand, walk
Oh! Because there's no real rewind back then, let me show that to you again.
Well, it plainly is intent on staying away now. Be careful. Right hand, walk it.
Absolute hammer. One more time. Wait, hold on. This is how we have to do slow-mo for this. Okay? We'll do slow. This is how I have to do slow-mo. So at this point, watch. You'll see Wolcott go to throw his right hand, but Rockies has already left the station at this point.
Intent on staying away now.
Right on the chin.
Right hand, walk it.
So Jersey thought he had him lined up, but
plainly is intent on staying away now. Be careful. Right hand, walk it.
that's all she wrote. Yeah, exactly. That was like right on the money. And this is why this is considered the best fight that Marciano ever had, if not a lot of people's favorite fight for him.
Rocky Marciano.
So that was the first time he had fought for a title. This is the last fight he ever had. Another one considered one of his best. So, yeah, and a left hook for free. That's right. Yeah, he did give him a little something extra, didn't he? Gave him a little extra change. Yes, AJ is changing things up. Which, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, main event, 15 rounds for the heavyweight championship of the world. Here the
Did you know that people
assigned by the New York
watch
State
classic
Athletic
fights like
Commission.
this 50% longer when they're in color?
Harold Barnes and Adi Idala.
True.
The timekeeper, George Bannon. Counting.
They did a Archie Moore versus Ali recolored. And the amount of views skyrocketed on the recolored version here on YouTube.
For the knockdowns, Al Burrell, referee Harry Kessler. Here the principal.
Pretty interesting.
Introducing from San Diego, California, and Toledo, Ohio, wearing black trunks, weighing
15 rounds is nuts.
188 even, the light heavyweight champion of the world and challenger, Archie Moore.
By the way, does anyone want to guess how many fights Archie Moore had in his pro career? I'll give you a hint. A lot more than you'd probably ever guess. Tall kid, you're not even close. Not even close, Steve. Not even close, G-Fig. You guys are still way off. Nope, more tall kid. He won 186 fights. He had 132 knockouts. He had a total of 200 220 fights in his entire career. So safe to say his box rec is long. His box rec is insanely long. It's basically just decorated with every major heavyweight that you could imagine. Yeah, it's more than Ray Robinson. I mean, to give you a sense, he was fighting basically 4 times a year in 62 at that point. I know. I'm the same way. I was like, should I put on the Joe Louis fight? And I'm like, I can't watch it. I'm the same way. I would agree with that, Jeff. So let me see if I can go way back. So let's put it this way. Archie Moore has so many fights on his record. He has 3 pages of fights on BoxRec. I've never seen anyone have 3 pages of fights. His last fight, so he fought all the way. His last fight was it was after he fought Ali. So it was 1963. His very first fight was in 1935. And at this point, he was fighting pretty much when he first started out in 37, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 times. 14 times in just 1937 alone. I'm sorry. 16 times, 17 times. He fought 17 times in 1 year. He had 220 pro fights. I don't know if let me see if he has amateur. I don't know if they have amateur for him. They only have pro for him. But yeah. It's insane. Charles Bronson. Oh, yeah. I didn't know that Archie was in that. So from 1935 until 1963, he almost fought for 30 years. So, I mean, I will say, though, later in his career, he only did 10-round bouts, pretty much. A lot of his early career were like 8-rounders. Nothing too crazy. So, I know, Chiefing. It's like, it's pretty nuts. I mean, oh, cool. I'll have to check that out. Okay, let me see what you got, Shrek, really quick. This isn't going to get me in trouble, is it? Because, Tall Kid, your video you sent me of that Jake Paul Woodley thing, it got claimed for music. It got claimed for music. Hold on, I got to redo the aspect ratio to a non-1950s fight aspect ratio. No, it's all good.
Finally. Been holding this in forever. All right, here it goes.
Is it frozen?
Here it goes.
Nothing's happening.
Oh, yeah. Finally. Been holding.
What is this?
Ooh, Oh, I can't wait to see this in the toilet.
What did you send me,
Mother
Shrek?
of God. Oh.
We will watch this tomorrow. I don't know what the hell you just sent me. I'm like, what the hell? Oh yeah. Real quick. Because I see there's more people here now. So tomorrow, there's no fights tomorrow. So instead, what we're gonna do is, and Steve and some of you guys will know, this look familiar to some of you? Look like something? Maybe you grew up with it. So this guy is a Raspberry Pi. And on this little guy, I have every single Super Nintendo, every NES, Sega, Atari, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy Color, Game Gear game there is. So tomorrow we have everything you, and we have N64. I believe we only have Mario N64 on this though. I can load more. So tomorrow we're gonna play all the classic boxing games that were back then. There's an Ali one, there's a Foreman one, there's a Buster Douglas one, there's a Vander Holyfield had a game. Obviously, we're gonna play Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Oh yeah, this is the brand. You could buy them. They're not hard to buy. I mean, they're like I think this was like $100, and then you can get like a 8-bit duo like this, and this is Bluetooth. So I Bluetooth. It feels just like a regular Super Nintendo. So we're gonna play all those classic games. But yeah, these things are pretty easy. They actually have in the back, right here's the chip. You can actually just load that up. It's just basically an emulator. But I can run that to my computer through a capture card, and then you guys can watch me play, and we can play classic video games and watch all the classic stuff. Fight night? Hell yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. So we'll do that tomorrow night. I have a regular Super Nintendo, which I'm not going to try to hook that up to my whole system. It'd just be a nightmare. So my brother-in-law gave me this. So I'm pretty pumped about it. Oh yeah, here's your USB ports and everything like that. Like it's amazing. It's amazing. So we'll do that tomorrow night. We'll watch all those classic games. Fight night, it's one of the things we were talking about. It's like, it's insane. It's insane the quality of what we have today for games. But the frequency of the games we were getting back then, I mean, there's so many games. See this Twitter post? Oh, this is the Jake Paul. Well, we'll take a quick brief look at this Jake Paul moment, and then we'll get back to classic fights. I like his t-shirt. Oh God. I don't think he knows what he's in for. Jake, stay away. Stay far away from those guys. Different world. Don't go after those MMA guys. They will hurt you. Not what you're looking for. By the way, if you are a fan of Joe Louis, I have a fantastic Joe Louis shirt down in the merch store. No new boxing games? That's a great question. And my good buddy, actually, I'm going to link his channel, has an awesome video about this. He makes fantastic content. He explains why there's no new games and what the purpose or why that is. It's probably his largest video he's ever had. It like exploded. Uzak, there's it. Uzak Gaming, or now I think he changed his name to Uzak Boxing. So that's his video, breaks it down in terms of it's basically people want to get paid. That's the gist of it. And that's the hardest part is paying for boxers. So that's why, Esports Boxing Club is so impressive and what they're doing. I'm shocked they're able to do what they're doing. So
His opponent from Brockton, Massachusetts, wearing white trunks, weighing 188 and a quarter pounds, heavyweight champion of the world, Rocky Marciano. Marciano. 15 rounds for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Good evening, Rocky and Archie. You both know the rules of the New York State Athletic Commission.
Oh, let me send that to you guys.
So I won't go into all the details. Protect yourself at all times. The three
always forget to
knockdowns
put
in
that
one
on,
round rule is voided tonight. The 8-second count is out too. If a man goes down, the man standing up goes to the farthest neutral corner and stays there till I wave him back. He doesn't have to wait for 8 seconds. And when the man gets up and I get his gloves brushed, well, you come back. Okay? Keep your punches high. Nice fights.
It's in the description now. I have a great Joe Louis shirt.
Well, we're ready for the question. The 3 knockdown thing is a New York rule. Voided is...
I'll show you guys really quick, actually. This is my Joe Louis shirt that I created off of a classic Joe Louis. It was a classic poster for Joe Louis that I turned into a t-shirt, and I did it in multiple colors. So that way I added a little bit, had to redo it, some of it, but this is the classic kind of like Joe Louis heavyweight poster that was hand done, and then I had to re-edit it and create it, and then I made it in a bunch of different colors. I have a bunch of stuff in here. But Joe Louis, Manny Pacquiao shirts, hoodies, all that kind of fun stuff. Of course, a bunch of Butterbean. Because I created Butterbean as a cartoon character kind of style. And, yeah. If you've ever got any, suggestions on what you'd like in the store, I'd be more than happy to make it. So I actually really want the olive green one really bad. Anyways, that's enough of me pumping out my merch. I always forget to put that in my descriptions on YouTube.
The referee told you, normally in New York, a man knocked down 3 times in a round is beaten. Not tonight, and there's no compulsory 8 count. He doesn't have to take 8, he can get up at 2 or 1. If that explains that to you any better. We're waiting for the bell for round 1. The boys are jiggling.
Oh, you do that? You have that Joe Louis shirt? Wait, what?
The bell. Here they go.
Oh shit! I didn't even know people bought stuff from freaking G-Fig. I didn't know you bought that. Thanks for buying the merch, dude. I didn't even know. It doesn't notify me. I gotta get that to notify me. I'm glad, dude. I didn't know that. So people like it, huh? When you rock it, that's awesome.
2 minutes until the end of the first round.
That's good, Shrek. Awesome. I gotta buy some of my own merch as well. I got an Ali shirt I gotta put in there. I did some Ali art. I probably should do a Rocky Marciano one. Oh, that's sweet, G-Fig. Thanks for buying some merch, dude. I appreciate that. Yeah, I created that classic legendary one for Classic Fight Night. That was my original thumbnail.
One minute till the end of the round.
I'm definitely gonna have to make some more
Not too
merch.
much has happened.
If you have certain fighters you want, just let me know. There you go, Shrek. That's a nice combination. You know what you should do? You should try to model off for Lomachenko. That's what you should really do. Get the... You just gotta quit boxing and do Ukrainian dance for 5 years, and you'll be all set. Miller City, absolutely, dude. We just watched the Wolcott fight where he just hits him with a huge hammer right and just puts him to sleep. I mean, the fact that Archie Moore had 200 and... what's going on, dude? That how you like in these negative 17-degree days? Good, just
And
freezing,
there's
you
the
know.
We watched Marciano go back to his corner.
I
and
figured
Steve,
they
of course,
did,
better
Shrek.
than we do for the moment until his seconds get around him. Incidentally, his seconds over there are his manager, Al Weil, Charlie Goldman, his trainer, wonderful little guy and great trainer, and his long-time, lifelong friend, Al Colombo from Brockton. And in Moore's corner, only 3 seconds permitted here tonight in the corners is Cheerful Norman, Charlie Johnson, his manager, and Bertie Briscoe, his trainer. So, as I said, there has been very little exciting action so far. Marciano got in a couple of light left hooks, and Moore one pretty good right. The boys were very
Go
careful,
Lewis, too, though.
particularly Moore.
That's pretty
He
cool.
didn't seem to be
Happy New
nervous
Year
or
to you,
anything.
too,
Why
Vet.
should he be? He's fought all over the world, a fighter from everywhere, Australia, South America, all over this country, and he seems calm
We were
enough,
just talking
and
about how
certainly,
great this
of
year's
course,
going to be
the
for
champion
boxing.
always
We have
is.
tons of goodness.
Round 2.
Mind you, this is like in the middle of Archie Moore's career. This is the last fight for Rocky Marciano. It's like the middle of Moore's career. That's a beautiful counter punch right there.
The count was
I mean,
4.
look how big Archie Moore looks. So for this fight, they technically both weighed in
2
the
minutes
same.
until the end of the round.
But it doesn't look that way. Up from the Earth's core, right? Ugas versus Spence is going to be closer than I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be a really good fight. Oh, man. I'm hoping it's going to be just fantastic. This year will be like crawling on razor blades. I hope not. Moore, you can just tell, is a much more
Champion's in
polished
trouble.
fighter. I mean, so much quicker
Bleeding from
with
the
his
nose
jab.
now. 1 minute to the end of the round.
You think that Crawford's going to join Mayweather? I think PBC, I mean, Al Heyman would probably love to have him.
Rocky's still shaky a little.
Damn, Vet, I'm sorry to hear that, dude.
Moore is showing he knows how to fight. That's for sure. Landing well inside, got Marciano's eye.
I mean, Archie Moore is just looking
10
like
seconds
the
till the end of the
way
round.
more polished fighter in this
Marciano's
fight.
fighting for his championship life. And the bell. And the
Moore
Marciano's
is
corner.
just looking like the better boxer right
You can see, perhaps, that Rocky was pretty well mussed up. I know you don't see the blood very well. He's bleeding pretty good from the nose and also from under his left eye. It was a right hand, a beautiful right hand shot that knocked him down in mid-ring. A clean right hand after a left hand feint, and he took the count of 4. That reminded me of the Walcott fight in which Marciano was knocked down in the first round, of course, and then came on to win in the 13th, as he very well may this time. But as it stands now, Moore is the aggressor, and certainly
Looking
that
like
was a great
those
round
jabs
for the
from
old
Archie Moore
challenger.
doing a little
He
bit
came
of
back to his
damage
corner
to
looking
Rocky's
tired.
eye.
You see that blanket over his shoulder.
Good question.
But whether he was tired or not, or just taking his time, it's hard to say. Round 3.
Oh, shit. Oh, nope, that's old news. I was gonna be like, damn. Oh, Michael McKinson. Don't know McKinson all that well.
Moore's a trickster, but 15 rounds are long.
Fighting a guy that's 21-0, but he only has 2 KOs, so not a lot to be scared of. Oh, he fought Chris Congo. Okay. He's a total UK Brit. Never ever fought over here.
Rocky's left eye cut again.
Should be a pretty easy fight. That should be a stay busy fight. Pretty much.
Marciano blinking. Left eye. One minute until the end of the round. Good right hand by Marciano.
No. All right. Dude, Rocky's landed some bombs. The one thing, Moore's rolling with them, though. Those huge right hands, Moore's doing a really good job of rolling with it.
Archie's on the defensive now. Ten seconds until the end of the round.
Huge bombs.
The champion coming on. Although Marciano went back to his corner, blinking his eye pretty badly, he finished that round very strong. And he started his comeback, which of course was
big
the third
comeback
round,
round
as you
for
know,
Rock.
the fourth round card being before
That
you.
round.
He started
Huge
his
comeback.
with a solid left hook just over our heads here, and then crossed his right. And for a minute, it looked as if Moore might have been hurt. He didn't show too much sign of it, but he covered up and slipped away
On
from
Moore's
there.
belly?
But again,
It looks
at the
like
end
it,
of the
doesn't it?
round, Marciano landed a good left.
It's so hard to
Over
see
into
with this,
his corner,
this
as you
picture
see.
quality.
They're working on that eye. You can't see that much. And you have to peek in between. I don't think it's a bad cut. We're waiting for round 4. It's very exciting. The last round was a dandy. And of course,
You know what we could always
the
do? We could
knockdown
watch
was
the Ali
a
fight
thriller
and we'd know for
on
sure.
Moore's part, and it's very much of a fight.
I can look it up right now, actually. Yes, he does. He does on his right side. It looks like.
Those corners are a bad place for a man to be with Marciano. Moore got
In a
out.
lot of pictures, he kind of hides it with his hand. Yeah, he hides it often with his right hand in photos.
Powerful right by Marciano.
Man, I remember that
Got him rocking, but
Archie Moore
Archie's
fight
fighting
versus
back.
Ali. Ali beat the living piss out of him.
They're both a little rocky.
Imagine fighting Rocky Marciano, fighting Floyd Patterson, and then also living long enough and fighting long enough to fight Muhammad Ali.
Terrific right, just grazed the
That's
chin.
pretty wild. And not like any Ali, like the best, like the actual Ali, not Cassius Clay even. Prime Ali. His resume is insane. I was just looking at it. It's bonkers though.
1 minute till the end of the round.
I mean, he just fought nothing but killers. Harold Johnson. I mean, it's
Moore's
just
rocking,
it's nuts.
Just rocking and weaving, but he's not too badly hurt yet.
I mean,
Moore came out of it with a great left hook. He's
I'll
making
tell you what,
Marciano
Moore's
miss and miss.
effectiveness of bobbing
Miss
and
and
weaving.
miss.
Look how many punches Rocky Marciano's missing. I mean,
Rocky looks tired
completely
too now.
missing.
Moore just stood there and made him miss. Made him miss.
I think
till the end of the
Zepeda
round.
smells blood in the water with Lopez. It's a good chance if you're gonna go after someone like that.
The punch after the bell, we follow Marciano to his corner. He's a Rocky. He
Trek, it
went
might not
halfway
be the
out to
deepest
center
thing.
of the
It is
ring
creative.
And went back with a kind of a sick smile on his face. The punch right after the bell, not a very powerful one, but it hit right on the sort of the Adam's apple in the throat, and it might have hurt.
Oh yeah,
pretty badly.
I could see
However,
I could
as
see
you
some
saw,
brutality in that fight.
Marciano was a
I don't
tired
think
champion.
that's what Tio's gonna
Weaving
do.
and bobbing and
I think
sliding and
Montana
flipping,
Love is what
made
he's
him
gonna
miss punch after punch after punch, and Marciano at the finish was just shoving his gloves out. He was really a weary fellow. Now we're back in Archie's corner, he's talking very
You know?
quickly to his second. And is smiling
Easy
at
touch.
Corporal Norman.
Ease
And
him
at
back
the moment,
in.
He definitely is in command of this fight. Although
You don't want to
there
go
is
rush him
close
too
researching
hard.
By the champion. This is round 5 coming up, and this is it.
I mean, more in this fight too. Just moves so we're getting asked who moved well at this period. Archie Moore was significantly better than a lot of people at this time that could move pretty well. Floyd Patterson moved pretty decent too. UFC 3, I don't even know who's in UFC 3. I've never played any of the UFC games. Are they any good? Probably not as good as Virtual Fighter, I know. Which if you don't know what that game is.
Moore trying to keep him off that left jab and doing a pretty good job of it too.
Really, Tall Kid? Because aren't they on like UFC 5 now? The controls. I mean, I'd probably buy them. I don't know if they're on Steam, but that hasn't been announced yet. Is it in UFC 4 that Tyson Fury's in that, and like Anthony Joshua?
Very elusive, Archie.
And Bruce Lee?
So far.
What? Brock Lesnar.
1 minute.
Trek, $5 and it's not worth it? Really? Are they just terrible at the, are they bad characters? It's utter shit. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Basically, you pay $5 for terrible add-ons. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, G-Fig. Exactly. You read my mind.
Moore trying to cock that
Oh, they're
right
only
hand.
boxers, so you get taken down, I'm assuming. And then you're screwed.
That blood again from Marciano's nose.
I know, Telkit, and that's why when people got really excited about it,
10
I got
seconds.
really excited about it, and then they said they have an indefinite timeline, they don't know when it's gonna be, and I got really like, okay.
So now, we're coming up to round 6, and it's a good prize fight, and certainly it's a long way from over, as you know.
Do you think Rocky Marciano ever paid for a beer ever again in his life? After he retired, do you think he ever paid for a beer in a bar ever again? I'm going to submit he did not. I know, G-Fig. It's the weirdest thing. It's they don't really need Fury at all. Yeah, you think, Steve? I was just thinking that. I'm like, man, this dude, I don't think ever paid for a freaking beer a day after his life. After he retired, he could go anywhere in the country and go into the bar, and it's
Moore
immediately
doesn't
free
seem to
drinks.
be worried about being in those corners, but it's still not a good place for him.
He could just pay for him with an autograph, basically, at that point in his life.
He got out.
Being the absolute legend. Or any chicken parmesan. They paid him in spaghetti and meatballs.
Right hand. Right hand. 5
The-
by 6.
Which
right hand.
which boxing game? That was the that's the one we're talking about. Vet, it hasn't come out yet. They do not have a timeline on when it's coming out.
Moore's not helpless, but he's in bad shape.
Moore just got rocked, and now you can see Rocky Marciano just smells blood in the water. I will say Marciano was a vicious finisher.
1 minute till the end of the round. Another right by Rocky. This could be the end.
Just throws everything in the kitchen sink at him.
Touching him. Moore's legs are gone.
I mean, my God.
Just his instinct, maybe the bell.
Oh, that'll be cool. That kid seems pretty interesting right now. I mean, I know a lot of people like him as like a major UFC prospect. I'm very curious to see how he does
30 seconds.
when he starts stepping up in like major competition. He seems like a monster. Yeah.
20 seconds.
But then again, I mean, if Israel Adesanya can get beat, anything can happen.
15 seconds.
Really talking.
He got 2, 9, 10 seconds.
That's the co-main, the Masvidal versus Jake co-main. You think Dana would ever allow Jake to be in the UFC or fight it?
He made it on his feet.
Yeah, Vet, that one's East Street Boxing Club. Everyone's still hyped about it, but they don't have a deadline. They haven't told us when it's coming out. It was gonna come out end of 2021 or the summer of 2021, and then it got pushed back to the fall of 2021, and then they said we don't know when it's coming out. So I don't know. As soon as it comes out, I will buy it immediately.
4 count. The same thing that Marciano took in the second round. I thought it was 5, but they say
$500 a laser disc
from the right hand. A right hand.
I mean, I just buy a piece that they have. They're gonna do cross-platform, I believe. It seems cool, but honestly, I don't believe anything until I actually see something come out.
But a right hand.
I can't believe any of it.
One that sent him to his knees. Round 7.
I mean, I'm glad that they're trying to make a new boxing game, but I was gonna say I doubt Dana White wants anything to do with Jake after their little tiff. They really do not like each other. Man, Archie Moore just took a beating that last round, and he comes back seeming fairly unfazed.
Very arm weary, Marciano.
Oh, huge shot from Moore. Rocky looks a little bit wobbly there.
2 great right hands by Moore and a great comeback from that last round. Now it's Marciano who is rocking. Marciano's the one in trouble.
I mean, he just got blasted. I agree, G-Fake. A great answer. You just got knocked down and got hammered on, and you're coming out and just blasting right now, Rocky Marciano. That eye of Rock's is closing up, too, from those jabs.
This round. I said he was arm weary. I think he is. Doesn't mean he still can't punch. He can.
I know. I know, Steve, right?
And he did.
No knockdown.
No knockdown. No knockdown. No knockdown. I'm sorry, it slipped.
It's Nick Diaz.
Thought that was awful.
You take a picture of it, Shrek? You know what they say? If you didn't take a picture of it, it didn't happen. I mean, he might have a quick screenshot of his defeat while you
wouldn't have believed it.
while you teabag him with as Nate Diaz in UFC 3.
Again, or he has been.
Mental pictures, mental scars. That's hilarious. Oh, does he? Take screenshots of everything.
Moore trying to fight out.
That's hilarious.
Looks like his legs are planted.
Yeah, I really want East Street Boxing to come out, but we'll see.
10 seconds.
No timeline's not good. I want him to get it right.
They're throwing about all they
But-
got. And the bell. Moore again.
And there's no
missed his
updates.
leg.
Moore is...
Look at him. His legs just about went at the bell. He almost fell. What a
Moore's
game
looking a little
of fun
tired
he
right
is.
here.
38 or 40 or whatever. A great round, a great comeback round for him. He definitely won it if you want one sports writer's viewpoint, certainly unofficial. But he came back from a near knockout to fight a great round under any circumstance.
He's from
however
another
you might have wished
school.
to score it. And the
It's
fight is
kind of
still
like
not
that.
over. Both fighters have been down. Moore has been down
Yeah,
twice.
I have a
once for
super
4,
hot girlfriend,
once for
but she
9.
lives in Canada.
Marciano was down in the second round. You saw all this. But we're now coming up to 8.
She has the
That
handle of
turns the
tall
hill
kid.
the 15 rounds.
I know. I know. Showing the rounds in a suit
There's
jacket.
no doubt both fighters are tired. No doubt. And they should be. Round 8.
I mean, Tyson Fury crying like a baby in sparring. Oh yes, Dillian White claiming that he made Tyson Fury's cry in sparring. That's why I hate sparring stories. Clarissa Shields said that she sparred like tons of different guys, like Sean Porter and stuff like that, and like beat them. I don't buy any of it. I don't buy any of it. I'm like, maybe Sean Porter wasn't hitting you that hard then.
Moore's right
Moore-
eye is
Moore's
beginning to
left
close.
hand,
I'm
man.
sure you can't see that. For a time, it was the left eye of Marciano that was bad, but now Moore's right eye
You
is
hear that?
closing.
Jake Paul got signed to the UFC. Tall kid, is that what happened?
That, of course, makes him a bit of a target.
I
for
heard
a
he's
left
trying. We saw him do some leg kicks on Twitter. No, Russian, 600-year-old Russian. Held
Puncher and
together with
boxer.
tape cry. You gonna make Simon cry?
hook. I think
Oh
the
my
end is
God.
getting close.
Shrek.
Nobody can be sure. Moore's
Everyone
terribly
gets
tired on
50K a
that rope.
fight. Perfect. So, Vet, you're telling me they just doubled their money then from what Dana was paying them. I heard they got 25K and they got a free hot dog at the snack bar. Yeah, it's to do
Marciano's
cocaine
trying to
test
put
for
over the
life.
convincer. He's missing. Both of them
Shrek,
throwing blows that
I
might
love when
finish it,
Shrek
but
shits on boxers. It's
stronger.
hilarious. A 600-year-old Russian held together by
Those punches
tape.
are not landing solidly. If they were, somebody'd have to go.
I almost want that as a T-shirt.
20 seconds.
Uh,
Moore fought his way out of the corner. That eye is bad
yeah,
now.
I don't think they're gonna do that bet, Vet.
Rocky's still chasing him.
I mean, Dana White got
The bull
pretty
and the
rattled.
Toreador, and the bull keeps coming. 10 seconds. Right hand. Right hand. Right hand.
Put that on a T-shirt, Shrek.
That bell's
We gotta see
pulling
this
the
knockdown right here.
Toreador, and the bull keeps coming. 10 seconds.
Oh, right hand.
Right
Moore's
hand.
looking
Right
gassed.
hand. That bell saved him.
Oh, the bell
bell
saved
saved
him.
him.
That's back when the bell could save
Bell
you.
saved him. They don't
Holy
know.
shit.
I hope you got
If
that,
Dana's
Ruby.
fighters
Maybe I
are
didn't
even
get it
real.
right. The referee didn't know. Nobody knew. But the bell saved him.
I mean, how many times have you
Here
seen
goes
someone
the
get saved by the
doctor again.
bell
That was a right
in a
hand,
fight? Not for a
and the
very
bell
long time.
Rang at 6. referee says 7, but I know 6 that time. Anyhow, we won't argue with him. It makes no difference. The doctor is going now to talk to referee Kessler.
Explain that to someone who doesn't know shit about boxing.
I still can't tell any more than you can. You can see what's happening.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Over in the corner with the referee. The doctor, Marciano, is coming back. Sits down here alongside us. They're going to go again.
We could make it a sticker and put it in the merch store. On live TV, like
He's
McGregor's.
so
Oh God,
strong, Marciano.
Conor McGregor's
So
leg.
strong.
That was.
So
Oh,
durable.
that was so gross.
What right hand?
Old wash boxers in the
Everything
octagon.
on. More too. More could
He
punch
works
Brady.
in me.
If more had to
Oh my
punch.
God.
What a fight this would be, and what a fight it is anyhow.
Dude, Conor McGregor was so bitter after that. He was so bitter after taking that L.
Just a bombardment. Moore's legs are so nearly gone. He's not punching back at all now. Now he is.
Man, absolute beating right now from Rocky.
Oh, a good right hand by Moore. A beauty.
Post Parkinson's Muhammad
Just got to see
Ali.
him.
I'm still gonna pick
There he
Ali.
goes, in his own corner.
Moore. Oh, at this point, Moore's legs are just done. Absolutely done. Yeah, he's not getting up.
That's all.
Like, he won the fight. I know. That was hilarious. So, this one's now in full color. Someone colorized this one. This is supposed to be another one of the best fights. So we'll see how this looks. Tall kid asking the important questions.
For the heavyweight championship of the world at 187 pounds from Cincinnati, Ohio, the contender as a child.
I mean,
191
Conor McGregor
defended his crown, the
is one of the
heavyweight
biggest
champion from
draws for
Massachusetts,
casuals
Rocky Marciano.
still
And from
in
the
all
corner,
combat sports.
Your host, the undefeated world's heavyweight champion, Rocky Marciano, sparring with the powerhouse of music, the man with the gifted voice and a million fans to match, Tony Bennett.
And my guest, a personal friend of mine, Tony Bennett, a fellow that really made it on his own. He started in the small clubs, worked there for quite
How
a
many
while.
of you have actually heard
and
Rocky
became a
Marciano
real
talk
big main
before?
eventer on his own. Tony Bennett. Hi, Tone. Good, fine. Tone, would you show the people how you stand in a nightclub just before you start singing?
Well, there are many people that have said to me many times that
By the way,
I remind
Tony
them of a
Bennett.
fighter.
I'm sure not many of you guys know who Tony Bennett is. Because he's not really someone that a lot of you probably know all that well. So this is him talking to Rocky Marciano, right? And this is what he looks like roughly at 90 years old. Yes, the singer. So, I mean, he's been around for a very long time. I mean, he's like a legendary singer. He's 95 years old. That's I mean, he stopped singing this year. This was his last year of singing. to give you a sense. So he's like a legend. He's been around forever. I was gonna say John. I was gonna like John. John definitely. I mean, I've never seen him a young video of him like this, which is crazy.
Working with small bands when I first started a nightclub.
Used to make cameos in movies, yeah.
Story over, you know, and a lot of times I finish the song with throwing the right jab.
Tony, do you really get nervous before you go out in the audience? I mean, now.
Well, I kind of pray for getting just enough tension and getting nervous enough so that I hope I do the right kind of show for an audience. I warm up and try and rehearse. In fact, to this day, this is I recorded it 10 years ago. I still get
pretty close, and I still got the habit of watching
a
every
mob
move
boss. Yeah,
and trying to get.
Well, there's a lot of thoughts about Rock in the Mob. A lot of thoughts about how he stayed perfect record and everything like that.
The reaction of the fighter, and I really did see it coming. He was setting him up with that lazy left hand. Nightclub or something?
Mm-hmm.
You tell me if I got any potential.
Okay.
Well,
I'll tell you right now, I don't know how you'll go in this country, but in Italy you'll be a smash.
There's the bell for the main event, one of my own fights. I had the crown, and I'm going to defend it for the third time with a real tough opponent, Ezra Charles. Polo Grounds, 1954. Let me tell you about it as I fought it.
So this is color commentary from Rocky Marciano during the fight. And then they did like a colorization of it, which is pretty cool, actually. I'd still say there's definitely...
Charles, we fought 3 months ago, and he was a murderer.
Still
I didn't
some.
really catch him until the late rounds.
For sure.
I got to look
Let's put it this
than...
way. What is it? MK Sport, if I'm not mistaken. What is that brand that Tyson Fury rocks it, a bunch of guys do in the UK. So I mean, there was a guy that is mixed in with UK boxing that is a well-known organized crime figure. And people are like not too happy about it. I think it's MTK. Yes. MTK Global. Do some research into that. MTK Global has some very interesting. We'll finish that tomorrow, Shrek. There it is. So, here's what happens. I'll just put it on the screen for you guys because it's right there in the wiki. So, if you can't see, right there in the actual Wikipedia, that should tell you everything. So, and if you go to their actual website, they are connected with a lot of various boxers. Boxers that we all know pretty well. So, in particular, a lot of boxers in the UK. A lot of boxers in the UK. And one you might know pretty well. So, yeah, they're pretty well known. I didn't know if everyone knew this or not, but they've been linked with a bunch of shit. And yeah, I'll leave it at that.
tonight. How can you make big money if you don't KO the other guy? Charles didn't go down
Prestige
the last time.
worldwide.
I think it was because I was a little rusty.
Dude, that's
and had no
amazing.
timing. But he thinks it's something else. He may be thinking.
Wait, what is this?
This cat don't punch that strong.
We'll
after
do
all.
videos tomorrow.
It'll make him tougher tonight.
We gotta watch a little bit more Rocky Marciano. We've only watched 2 fights. Keep gabbing about lobsters and everything else.
Let me try this guy quick.
So this is where we get to actually see video glitched.
Look at this. He's strong inside.
So now we get to hear Rocky Marciano's actual
You might
take
as
on
well
it.
get set for a tough night. This guy isn't gonna fold.
Oh, MTK Global is, the owners are well known, connected to drug running and gangsters in the UK. I mean, there's an assassination at a weigh-in for them. Or an attempt, I believe. The more you know.
That's it. Back him up with the jab.
I wish they did this more often, where they did
Outside the
color
ring,
commentary
Charles is one of
from the
those
person
quiet,
actually fighting.
happy-go-lucky kids. And when he fights, he doesn't change his expression or say a thing. He goes at it like he's working on a job. I'm always a little slow in the first round. Gotta step it up.
Donald Trump and Don King. God, Don King. At one point they were.
Looks like he won that round.
At one point they were.
Green postponed this fight for 3 nights. It had me nuts. I spent most of today walking the streets. I was so jumpy, I didn't even know what I was waiting for. That was a
Huge
real
right hand.
strong right by Charles. I know.
To give you some stats about this fight.
Just a little off with that right hand. Gotta keep throwing them. It'll get to him.
Charles was about 6 pounds heavier in weigh-in.
There he goes, locking me up on the inside again. Shove him away. Let's go.
Charles did roughly around 121 pro fights.
There, he shook good. Another big shot. He's right up. He must be hurt.
There you go.
See him look at
Old
his
Nintendo
collar?
Switch.
I'm wrong. He must be all right. I thought he didn't know what he was doing when he didn't take an 8 count. What are you letting him hold you like that for? Come on, shove this guy.
Definitely some blood from Charles' nose.
Go to the body. You're losing your head.
There's a little headbutt. Did you guys see that little headbutt? Hold on. Yeah, there you go. Think boxers were tough back
Go to
then?
the body.
Watch this from
You're
Rocky.
losing your head.
That's a freaking blatant headbutt.
Ah, he knocks me up again.
Honda hip quick headbutt. I know. I kind of love it, Steve. It's
Charles
clean
is a
audio,
good
too,
stiff left
so.
hook. Don't stand around and wait for it anymore. In slow motion, let's see how that knockdown came.
Boom.
I came right across his left with a good big right hand, and he catches it. Don't pick your spots when a guy's hurt. Just throw punches.
That's certainly Rocky
There, that right
Marciano's
hand
motto.
got him.
Just throw punches. The referee's pretty animated, yeah.
I'm in a neutral corner trying to remind myself. When a fighter is hurt, he does a ton of things by instinct to protect himself. Sometimes
Just
he's
throw
harder than ever to hit.
punches.
Always go to the body. It's safe. Charles still has plenty of strength. When he grabs my left arm, I can't move it an inch.
Could you imagine if there's more like videos like this of like Mike Tyson and all those classic people doing that? Like a detective. Shitload of porn on it? What? You're keeping porn on a Switch? God damn. Minnie, what's going on, man? I mean, Evander Holyfield.
He's got the left low.
That's how I was reading it, Shrek.
There.
I know they say that there's only a 2-inch height
Now he
difference,
has that left
but
way up. All right, then. Do anything.
407,
but
I
be on
can't
this
find a
guy
stream
every
for
step of
those.
the way. You can't let him relax. This guy has got to go. He got me with a good left to the belly, but he didn't follow up. It's fine with me.
Oh, I got it.
If there's one thing I don't want, that's to get hit with 2 good punches in a row. That's where knockouts come from. Now Wild tells
Now I
me
got the
6
Showtime
different
fight
things
on
at
as well.
once in the corner, and I can't remember one of them when Charles starts coming in at me. Prepare some notes for me, Al, the next time, will you? Charles is a real good fighter. He moves just enough to throw me off completely when I'm ready to punch.
If you guys want, after this, we could switch over and start doing and watching
Keep your
this
head lower than
Showtime
Ezra's
card.
when you're inside. Stick it right under his chin.
See how that turns out. Get that going in Discord.
There, his left was low. Again.
Yep, exactly, G-Fig. I couldn't find it, and then I
Still
found it.
low. There.
Ooh, Charles just ate another huge right hand.
Keep punching like that. Get 2 or 3 good shots together, and he's got to go. And you need the KO. Keep punching. You got to get this one. Tony, what do you think of the fight so far?
Well, you know, at this point, it's pretty hard to say as to what's really going to happen. It looks like a pretty even fight so far.
It sure was, Tony. In fact, right about here, I knew I was in for a real rough evening. Here comes Ezra Charles. Missing those punches, but that's all right. Keep winging. They'll start
Keep
getting in
winging.
there.
Oh my God, that is such a Rocky Marciano thing to say. Ah, we're missing those punches. No big deal. Keep winging. That's hilarious. Because that pretty much was a huge part of his career.
As long as I have one arm free, I'm all right. I'll bang him twice as hard with it, that's all. Just a little bit. He seems weaker inside. Keep on him. Wear him out fast. The right should get him every time.
I think it's
I
hilarious.
keep getting in on him all right. Keep my hands close to the body, swing my shoulders inside as punches, and throw to the body with the same motion.
Minnie, it's actually Rocky Marciano doing his own color commentary. I know, right, Steve? Pretty sure there's a moment in this fight where you'll see Rocky take his forearm and just jam it in his face.
Ah, he turned away from that right.
Nico Ali's
He was hurt by the hook. If I got that right in, the fight would be over. Just keep plugging. Did the round end? I didn't even hear the bell.
Ooh, Charles landed some good leather. Nice left hook right there from Rocky. So.
Look at his legs. He's not moving so much now. He's starting to stand flat-footed. That's great.
Destroying him. Are you talking about that Showtime fight?
Don't give him a chance to breathe. I'm wearing him down in the clinches. Keep putting my head in there to say hello to him. Push with the shoulders.
407, I'm watching it right now.
Do anything to ruin this.
Oh,
guy.
good, man. How you doing? We're watching classic Rocky Marciano fights. So we always do classic fight night on Friday where we pick a fighter from the past and we watch some of the classic
Forget it, it's probably nothing.
Watch some legendary fights. And then we're going to skip over and start watching some of the Showtime fights that's happening
every
tonight.
time I touch it. It might be broken. What is this? I'm bleeding bad. What did this guy do to me?
Yeah, I do believe Marciano broke his nose in this fight. I have no idea, Shrek. How many viewers did they get for that?
In the corner, Freddie Brown told me it's only a little nosebleed. Don't worry about it. But then they put enough gauze around my nose to bandage an army. Look at this. I look like
4.2? Holy smokes.
Whatever I got, Charles loves it. He's shooting straight for the nose, and he looks stronger than he has in a couple of rounds. The gauze is gone, and I'm bleeding again. But they told me it was just a nosebleed, so I gotta take their word.
So after this round, Rocky Marciano's nose is so badly broken in his corner, they just say, we can't do anything for you. So what he ends up doing is they're like, you gotta put the heat on him after 7th round. Because his nose was just busted.
Burl keeps looking at me. Burl keeps looking at me.
Oh, dude, thanks. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Forget the blood. Let's get this guy. What's Burl looking at me for? There, that right shook him good.
A little body shot. So this is, at this point, Rocky's nose is messed up.
Now I know. Brown told me the truth. I can't stop the blood.
See?
The cut's bad. And if he says he can't do anything, then it must be murder. You got to get this guy right now, Columbo says. They may have to stop the fight. It's that bad. Your nose is split in half.
Yeah.
I'm
See?
not worried about my nose. I'm worried about losing the title. Come on, knock this guy dead with a shot.
I don't know either one of these guys all that well. Luis Nunez versus Carlos
He's tying me up.
Arrieta, which
Get
I've
off
actually
me,
seen
Charles.
Arrieta fight before.
Get out of here. Good right hand. Throw more.
The commentary's amazing. Oh my God, his nose is horrendous.
Come on, get him with that right. Now, more of them. Cut me on the nose. It's murder.
Yeah.
Don't let him do that.
At this point,
Keep
Rocky's
firing
nose
at him
is
so he
just
can't get set to
a
punch.
mess. Probably can't breathe.
Great.
That right hand. Let's watch that right hand real quick again.
Great.
Boom, right on the chin.
In
Oh, they
slow
did it
motion.
for me.
He gets under my left, so I just shifted right back again behind our
Oh,
right
that's a
hand.
beautiful shot. Can you offer a 160p stream on Twitch? You're looking at it. I mean, you can always adjust the settings.
Let's go. Get him.
To a lower
Don't let him hold. Push him
lower
off.
rate.
Shove the guy.
I've had to do that.
There. That should do it. Al Weil is screaming at me from the corner. What's he gonna tell me now? To knock the guy out? Leave me alone, will you? It's over. In slow motion, let's see how I finally got Charles out of there. Believe me, it took some doing. This
Really?
guy
I don't
came
offer
with a
anything
steel
lower?
chin. There's the big right. Terrific left. Right. Just missed the left. Right on the top of his head. The left, and he goes.
Thought I did.
I knew he wouldn't be able to get up. He surprised me by trying the way he did. I thought I'd really put the guy away right here.
For rich men only.
There's Freddie Brown holding me and trying to work on my nose. It was so bad, a great corner man like Freddie couldn't do much with it. They certainly would have had to stop the fight if I didn't get Ezzard right away like they told me to. I got off lucky tonight. Tony, this was one of my roughest fights. He really was great this night. He He gave me everything he had, and I had to come
Squeeze
on
the
real
level
strong.
of class we have
I
in
just
the
couldn't get that
chat.
one clean punch, and Charles, a clever fighter that he was, just was smart enough to keep me at a distance.
Well, I could tell you as a fight fan...
No, what happened to Pokimane?
It must have been real...
You get engaged or something. She's off the market. Got banned. Yeah, but probably not permanently. She didn't get perma banned. Okay, we're going to switch over to the Showtime card. I'm going to get that going. So, get into Discord if you want to see that. Nunez versus Arrieta. Right now, we're still on the undercard. All right, John. Have a good one, ma'am. You get Discord going. There you go. Oh, Nunez fought Tank Davis. That's how I know him. Nope, different Nunez, I think. I know. It's the best I could find. It's terrible. Oh, it like hurts me. It hurts me to look at. I'm like, oh God. There has to be a better one. I don't think there is, though. Sadly, I don't think there is. Getting flopped? I didn't realize it got flopped. I knew they were talking about it. I know there was paperwork that got sent. That's all I heard recently. Here's my boy, Blue. There we go. That's the best I got for you, Shrek. This guy that's much shorter is landing some serious shots. Will Fury still fight Paul? I doubt that'll happen now. I want it to. It should. Talk. I know it's the best poster I can find, Minnie. It looks like something straight out of Rob, what's going on, man? Happy New Year to you too. It looks like something straight out of like Fortnite with those colors. Off-brand WWE I know, it's bad. It's really bad, but it's kind of hilarious. Update, breaking news. Usyk to defend titles in the UK against Anthony Joshua in April. Do I think Paul is legit? He's about as legit as Tommy Fury. Which is like not legit. Local wrestling poster. It's pretty bad. I know, that's what I was thinking, Shrek. Joseph Parker, update. Joseph Parker wants Andy Ruiz next. He wants a rematch. That's awesome. Love that idea. So, Ryan Garcia blasts Isaac Cruz, calling him Chihuahua after he rejects offer. Man, Broke Dude, you're right. Well, that's unfortunate. I know. Calling him Chihuahua is pretty creative, actually. What fight do I want to see in 2022, Rob? Loma Kambosos. I want to see Spence Crawford. I want to see Fury Usyk. Everything works out. I would like to see Tyson Fury versus Dillian White. I'd like to see Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz maybe get a big shot. I mean, we are getting Ugas versus Spence, which is massive. Let's see. I'd love to see even Gabe Rosado versus Boo Boo would be fine. David Benavidez versus Canelo would be nice, but it's probably not going to happen. You might get Bivol instead or Beterbiev, which I'm still interested in. Ortiz versus Ennis. It won't happen, but it would be nice at some point. I would probably lean towards Ennis to win that. I'd like to see Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez. We're already going to get the Chocolate Tito versus Estrada 3, which is awesome. I would love Ennis to take the winner of Barrios versus Thurman. I'd love that. Those are a couple of the fights. I know, Minnie. That's a good point. Cruz did fight him on short notice, and he did pretty well. We definitely had people that were watching that with us that felt as though Isaac Cruz won. So, I'm not surprised. Oh, B3, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Been trying to pump out more content by taking the live streams on Wednesday and breaking it down. So that way, if you don't get to see the full live stream, you still get some fun content. Ooh, good shot. Trying to do some shorts, do some clips. Davis should fight Cruz again. Was that? Yeah, it was not. Rob, I agree. It was not a convincing win. I think Davis in general needs to find a good dance partner. I think him fighting Rolly would be funny, at least. But he does need to find a good dance partner. And it's probably not going to be Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or Lomachenko. Devin Haney probably versus Kambosos or winner. I want to see a unification. I mean, undisputed at... No more unification. Undisputed at lightweight. And I want to see an undisputed at heavyweight next year. That's what I would love. You know? I know, everyone... So, Rob, we do tweet of the week on Wednesdays, where I go over all over the best tweets from boxers on Twitter, and Rolly is always one of the top If him and AB are always the top two guys, man. It's hilarious. All right, guys, I will be right back. All right. Sonny Edwards. Oh, dude, he's interesting. He's interesting. I don't know if I told everyone or if everyone knows this or not. I have now taken our Wednesday streams, our boxing news. I do some light editing to them. And they are now, we have a podcast with them. So we turn them into podcasts. So they're on basically every major platform. So we have it on iTunes. We have it on Spotify. We have it on like everything. Stitcher. Trek, you're on like everything. All my TikToks, everything, because I keep the chat in there for everything. Like, you're on everything. So, because I started a podcast actually, or I started using clips from stuff back in the day. And I think it started in like 2020. And it was just too much. It was way too much extra work. For Tinder, I agree with you, Rob. Absolutely. And so I was just like, it was a pain in the ass. And then on top of it, to do it for free was really hard to do because a lot of websites cap you at a certain amount of time or the amount of data that you use. So it was like impossible to really do it effectively without spending money. So Anchor came along, which is a platform that lets you do everything for free, and it's owned by Spotify. That's why. And boom, you're set to go. World famous podcaster now. Total of like 3 listens on the latest. I know, dude. Ganja, the fact that you're still up, man. Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. I'm wrong. 4 now. We have 4 listens. So. Rob. Supercross. I mean, I don't think, well, what's his name? Alex Martin doesn't do one, does he? I know he's got like the whole troll YouTube channel and everything, but I don't think he does a podcast. Gotta crank up those listener stats. At COVID at the minute, so oh man, that sucks, Ganja. I'm sorry to hear that. Dude, everyone's been getting it. So I know, you just got over COVID. I thought I had COVID because I had a little bit of a sore throat and some congestion. It's gone now. I only had it for like 3 days. So I'm like, I probably didn't end up with it. I know. Omicron's out here just whooping ass out here. like I remember I went away for Christmas, and like all my coworkers all got freaking COVID. Do I miss HBO Boxing B3? I really do miss HBO Boxing. It was an amazing cast. Jim Lampley was a fantastic commentator. I liked Roy on it. I think it was I thought it was a really nice. I thought they did a really good job overall. Oh, look at this, Russell. Russell's gonna come out. Gary Russell Jr. is gonna pop his head out, just like Pexitani Phil, and fight once a year. So apparently we're getting that on January 22nd. I thought HBO was really good. I liked them as a platform a lot. Although I will say this, in my opinion, the best platform that I'm the most hopeful for is DAZN. And I say that because of the price structure. It's the most interesting price structure that there is. So, Rob, so did Aaron Rodgers. Same thing, man. I mean, yeah, B3, funny enough, my wife's boss, she's the niece of Lampley. And when she told me, my wife was like, "Oh, do you know some guy that's like does boxing commentators?" I'm like, "I know a lot of them. Which one?" She's like, "I don't think he does it anymore, but he used to." I'm like, "Okay, well that narrows it down a little bit." And out of nowhere, she's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Well, text her. Like, give me this information." And it was Jim Lampley, and I'm like, I need to talk to him. I'm on the front page of Trovo? What? No, I'm not. I see some bored-looking chick playing a game and that we can't, and she's sitting there not talking to anyone. Wait, hold on. Maybe I was? I don't know. Apparently I was on the front page of Trovo. Crazy. That would be the second time I'm on their front page. Man, Trovo needs a little bit of TLC. Yeah, B3, I was like, I need to talk to him. Can I please get in contact with him? I was like, I don't know. Like, she just started. Never happened, but I was like, I just want an autograph. I just want an autograph. That's all I want. Hey, Trek, you pretty much own Trovo. Which, I'm all of that. The whole reason I started with using Trovo is because I thought it was an interesting platform. But it pretty much is just, there's not much going on there. So Shrek. If we can, the next thing that we're going to try to do possibly this year is do live streams to Facebook and see how that goes. With B3, a vitamin drip, and type of steroid asthma patients use. Oh. I know he had some kind of cocktail treatment. So Shrek, the thing is, yeah, in the US, it's very much a middle-aged divorced dad audience, eh? Very much a platform that's utilized a lot more by older individuals. But in other countries, it's not. That's why primarily I want to see if it affects that at all. So, oh, Delta, yeah. Hold on. I gotta go talk to my wife. We'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's see how this main event is. Sure. I got it in Discord, but no one's watching it in Discord. All right, main event. Yeah, dude, if you guys get COVID, man, hopefully you guys are healing up. And who knows, maybe you get a Marvel superpower at the end. You get a mutation and you turn into Wolverine or something. I shit lasers now. I cannot tell you how pumped I was, Shrek, when I started going on this and looking at all the different fight games. Oh my God. So many games. So many games. I'll show you guys the setup tomorrow. I'll show you guys all this. I named like half the systems that it has. It's a little bit annoying to set up for a stream, but it's pretty amazing. Oh yeah, it's going to be a good time. And let me tell you, it was very eye-opening. Because those games, Shrek, you go, okay, I'm going to play. Start. You immediately get thrown into a fight. No tutorial. You can't look up. There's no way to look up what the buttons do. It's just go. There's only one level of hardness, and it's really hard. It's just like, I forgot. I was like, I mean, Mike Tyson's Punch Out is super hard. I mean, it is, Rob. Yeah, it's definitely in the works. They have so much money invested. They're going to finish it at some point. They got to get a return on investment. But timeline-wise, there's nothing. There's literally no timeline. Oh, we're going to play, Shrek. I'm going to get wrecked by the second guy, I bet. Because it's all like crazy patterns and whatnot. So it's pretty hard. You'll see me. I'm going to struggle a shit ton. Glass Joe. Yep. I was actually playing Rocket League earlier today, and I forgot how much I love that game. I just beat... What did I just beat? I just beat Max Payne 3. I gotta play LA Noire. I never played it, but I own it. I gotta get back into Red Dead Redemption 2. I want to play that on stream really bad. Because I have a spot in Red Dead Redemption 2 where all I do is just rob people. And it works every time. like 60% of the time, it works all the time. And all I do is sit there and just rob people, kill people over and over and over and over again. It's awesome. And then that's how I make all my money in that game. God, I love Red Dead Redemption 2. That's true, Rob. That's actually a really good point. That's a really good point. And EA's said that they're going to come out with a boxing game, but you know what? We don't know any kind of detail about how long that's going to take or what real investment they're going to do in that, because this fight's pretty good right now, actually. Because honestly, EA, I've heard stuff like, oh, they're going to come out with a Titanfall 3. Don't worry. And this doesn't materialize. I'm sure they want to come out with another EA boxing game, but it's going to take time. And if they're going to use current boxers, they have to make contracts with every single one of them individually. That takes time. Yeah, I was going to say 3 years, easy. Easy. No question. I don't know why it's a 10-round main event. That's a good point, Shrek. So, it's fine. This pace is pretty amazing right now. Arrieta's eyes bugging him. Looks like he's got some swelling underneath the eye right now. Yeah, it looks like there's some kind of swelling. It's hard to see right now, but you might have a little mouse right here. This is quite the phone booth fight right now. Yeah, you can see it. There's definitely some swelling underneath that eye. Oh, I didn't know he's big into video games. That's awesome, though. I'm excited to see what it looks like. Honestly, East Street Boxing, it could be a total game changer. Really, Shrek? Mine's looks great. Mine looks like 720 plus. Then again, my PC's hardlined in. Privilege. Yeah, exactly. Very much so. Trek, you could always just jump in the Discord and watch it through that. Bing on an Xbox. I didn't see the latest Roy Jones video on E Street Boxing. Was it on Twitter, or did he post it, or did E Street Boxing Club post it? I did see that he was doing some kind of... Look at you did some kind of music. He did something on his own social media. I saw that. The last update for this game was in August 2021. Dana, what's going on? Yeah, we are right now. We were watching Rocky Marciano. Now we're watching this Showtime main event. Nunez looks like he's taking a little bit more command of this fight right now. Oof. Some big shots from Nunez right now. Oh, man. He just landed a huge shot on Arrieta. I don't think this is going 10 rounds right now. If these shots keep landing. Should boxers deadlift? I mean, it depends. Are you trying to bulk up? Lifting weights in general was like old school was like a no-no until like guys like Evander Holyfield kind of came around. Sports Gamers Online. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, I got it right here. That's December 29th. Closing out the roster preview is a great champion. Roy Jones Jr. is the most intriguing fighter on this list. He captured. Yep, okay. In the exclusive with team broke down with the process building Roy Jones Jr. Interactive one to capture the essence of what it was like for him to be great. So he's going to be available middleweight through heavyweight. You can fight Fury, Wilder, Klitschko brothers, Canelo, Sugar Ray Robinson, or even Butterbean as Roy Jones Jr. in this game. That's wild. You could go from Canelo to Butterbean. That's wild. Damn, dude. It's pretty good, I think. I'm enjoying it. But I'll tell you right now, Nunez is doing some serious work. Landing the more powerful shots, that's for sure. All right, let's see. We only got 6 more rounds. Arrieta is getting tagged with some big shots. Top 3 boxers of all time. And top 3, favorite boxers. Sugar Ray Robinson, Joe Louis. Maybe Roy Jones Jr. are my top 3 possibly. I mean, I love Mike Tyson. I love Foreman, Ali, obviously, but I'd say probably those 3, generally speaking, are like my top 3 of all time. Not like they're the top 3 best fighters of all time, but they're kind of like up there for me as my favorite fighters. Manny Pacquiao, actually, now I think about it, it's hard for me to pick 3. I could probably like pick 5. Manny Pacquiao's way up there for me. Maybe it would be Joe Louis, Railroad Jones Jr., and Pac-Man, maybe. I like Sugar, but I haven't watched him nearly as much as I've watched Manny Pacquiao. It's hard to take Sugar Ray Robinson off, so he's kind of like the greatest of all time. So I can't really take him off, but I love Joe Louis. Basically, that's like basically my top group. And then top 3 of today, Lomachenko would be probably number 1. I really like Canelo. In a way, he's like way up there for me. I think he's like probably one of the most slept on fighters. I love Chocolatito. And then for like heavyweight, I'm a little wishy-washy on all of them. Like I have issues with each one of them. I have issues with Fury. I have issues with Wilder. I have issues with AJ. So like I don't have like a fighter. I used to be a big Tyson Fury fan, but he's kind of annoyed me a little bit. So I've kind of like pumped the brakes on that a little bit. And then in terms of, I would say probably Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis, I'm a big fan of them as well. I mean, I like Spence. I like Crawford as well. Crawford's really, really impressive. But like, if I had to pick like my favorites, it would be Inoue, Loma. Canelo's kind of in the mix there. So Usyk, I like Usyk as well because he's kind of got that same Lomachenko style. I'd be curious. I'm very curious, Rob, when Fury and Usyk square up, how that's gonna look. I think Usyk's the only one that might be a little bit interesting. Yeah. When Tyson Fury had COVID, I didn't like it when he fought Tom Schwartz. Stuff like that. I don't know if he'll crush him. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think it could be a very, very close fight. Especially if Tyson comes in a little bit heavier, he won't be able to move as well as Usyk. But, I mean, it's a tall order. Because it's not like you're going to be able to hit Tyson Fury clean on the chin without having to almost jump. You know? The heavyweights are called heavyweights for a reason. I agree, Dana. He can definitely scrap. But he's not winning this fight. That is, I don't know if it's official quite yet. Well, the big thing is too, is if Fury starts leaning on him and throwing weight around that weight, what happens? You know, because Fury kind of has this duality to him that's pretty interesting. If he drops some weight, he can move even more fluid. But he probably sacrifices some of that power. Or does he come in closer to 275 and just tries to use that weight a little bit more? Still athletic. You know? I think it's a pretty intriguing fight to me, honestly. I definitely give Usyk a chance against Fury. And that will be very interesting to see what happens this spring. Because this spring will basically be the barometer. We'll be able to judge both those guys even more so. I think Fury should definitely be able to beat White. I mean, I think he definitely handles White, especially if he comes in 275, and then Dillian White's style of that kind of smash style that he likes, that brawler style, does not go well fighting Tyson Fury when he's 275 pounds. Like, it's a really, now if Tyson was 245 the way he was in that first Wilder fight, we'd have a different story. But he's not anymore. He's fully gassed up, fully trained. I mean, so yeah, I don't think White's going to get that fight, though. I think Fury's just going to say, I'm not fighting for the belt. I'm going to fight in March. White's going to be busy with arbitration. And that's just what it's going to be. And then Fury's going to pick, I don't know, Hellenius. Ngannou's no longer under UFC contract. Really? That said, there's no way in hell Tyson Fury's fighting Francis Ngannou. There's just no way. Never going to happen. Not in a boxing match. Because he has a fight this spring, and then he has a mega fight for undisputed champion, which is so much money. It won't happen. It won't happen. I can guarantee you there's so much money with Fury and undisputed champion. And if it's Anthony, let's say Anthony Joshua beats Usyk, and that it's Fury versus AJ. I mean, they were talking about $75 million a piece. You're never going to get that kind of money for Francis Ngannou. The money is like unbelievable for Fury in his next couple fights. I know it's a fun idea. I think Fury would blast out Francis Ngannou easily. I think that's an easy day of work for him. But even with Usyk in the mix, even if it's not Joshua, it's still huge money. We haven't had an undisputed champion since Lennox Lewis. Rob was saying that Francis Ngannou is no longer under UFC contract. AJ he's definitely, his fans, they hype him up quite a bit. I have to say, AJ got very, very hyped. Rob, you would really like Usyk boxing. EZUK. The YouTuber, you'd love him. He has a whole video. I think it's called Fraud, and it's got AJ's face right on it. Boy, oh boy. He called out AJ and people got so mad. He didn't care. He didn't care at all. Hey, you know, he has a very, very strong opinion of AJ, and he wanted to share it. So I'm friends with the guy. The guy's, I mean, we're friendly to each other. We comment and support each other. So I'm like, hey man, that's, you wanna poke that hornet's nest, I applaud you for it. So AJ is a bum. I would say AJ got really hyped when they started talking about AJ as like the next Ali. That was brutal. That was too much. The thing that always bugged me about AJ is he never really wanted to be a star anywhere other than in just the UK and Africa, really. And I'm just like, why not, man? Like, you know what's crazy, Rob? You'll go into like huge sporting goods stores here, like massive sporting goods stores, and AJ will be on the advertisement and people don't know who he is. Like, they don't know who he is. And I'm just like, he's sponsored by Under Armour. He's sponsored by Beats, and he just doesn't really care about, like, I'm not asking a lot. He doesn't even have to fight here. He just should just go on Joe Rogan's podcast. Or he should have, I should say. Won't he beat Sanchez or Anderson? Dude, I would love to see Jared Anderson fight AJ. Jared Anderson apparently gave some serious issues to Tyson Fury as well. Do you like Anderson Silva boxing? I mean, he's doing exhibitions and he's pretty good. He's actually one of those guys that like naturally is gifted to really go well with boxing. AJ, I mean, his chin is questionable. I would say the biggest thing with AJ is that he has too many yes men around him. Way too many yes men around him. Thankfully, he's changing trainers. But he should have done that years ago. He could have raised his game even more. But, you know. The Croatian kid? You talking about, what's his face? Talking about, Babbitt the Savage? Babic? Babbitt's, his nickname's very appropriate for him. Oh, Hrgovic. Hrgovic is extremely robotic. Like, people criticize someone like AJ and call him like robotic, but AJ looks like Ali compared to Hrgovic sometimes. Like, Hrgovic is very robotic. But one thing about Hrgovic is he's done some sparring with top level guys. He's sparred Wilder. He's sparred like a lot of top level guys. He's been in camps with a bunch of different people. If I'm not mistaken, I thought he was in, I'm pretty positive about this. Let me double check. There's video of Wilder versus Hrgovic. Yeah, I saw this. There's actual footage of Wilder and Hrgovic sparring. And it was because they were sparring partners for David Haye. And they like were going at it. So Hrgovic has been in the ring with some good guys. Has one more fight under his UFC contract, but he wants to box, gets KO'd, makes a lot of money doing it, and doesn't want to share his winnings with Dana White. Dana, I think you're right. I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. Robotic is the Euro style. I mean, Lomachenko has that fluid style. I mean, Calzaghe was fairly fluid. But I would say, yeah, I know what you mean. Especially the heavyweights. They have a tendency to be a bit robotic. For sure. I mean, Joe Joyce is very robotic. He gets the job done, though. Every time I doubt freaking Joe Joyce, he gets the job done. Every freaking time, man. I'm always like, he won't get it done this time. He's going to get stopped. He's going to lose. And he wins. He wins every time. So. Hrgovic, yeah, he's the IBF mandatory, and he challenged Luis Ortiz And the IBF says that you have to make a deal in 3 days. Ortiz in his camp says he has a hurt hand, so it's not possible in time. And then it moved to actually Joseph Parker, and Joseph Parker turned the fight down. I did a whole thing on it on Wednesday's Boxing News, actually. Oh, Eddie Hearn, I mean, made unreal money from AJ. I mean, crazy money. And look, good for them for making that cash while they could. But in the end, we knew that it wasn't going to last forever. Here you go. No, they're. I mean, granted, Luis Ortiz is 42 years old, so. Oh yeah, I mean, I'll give AJ props. At least he fought decent opponents. He did have a tendency to fight a lot of like older heavyweights. I mean, that certainly helped, but I mean, he certainly beat Andy Ruiz in the second rematch, which that's on Andy Ruiz, and he beat Joseph Parker, which was 2 very notable wins. I don't really count the Klitschko win as big of a win as some people make it. A 40-plus-year-old Klitschko, not quite the same as, and the same thing with Tyson Fury too. Like, he beat an old Klitschko. Povetkin he beat, which is an old Povetkin, but still a good Povetkin. Charles Martin, Joseph Parker, Klitschko. 5 fights in a year? Oh, God. I mean, there's been 5 fights in the year, but it's been guys that are not major belt holders. So, like, I mean, Boots Ennis and, like, some of those guys that were prospects at one point were fighting quite a bit. Daniel Dubois had 6 fights in a year. Until he fought Joe Joyce. But those aren't, like, top-level guys. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, the fact that Canelo fought 4 times was like a huge deal. Even fighting 3 times a year is like a huge deal. So. I like Daniel Dubois, but he got really exposed in that Joe Joyce fight. If you don't have enough head movement to get out of the way of that jab of Joe Joyce, you're not going to be able to beat. You're going to have to be a project. And he's young enough that he can learn and he can get better. But he's a project. He's not like some of these young guys that already look like the real deal. He's a project. I know Joe Joyce is like, what is he, like 34? As I always say, Joe Joyce is a nice guy, but he's slow as molasses in the freaking ring. Oscar Valdez versus Vasily Lomachenko. Loma's not going down to 130. Oscar's not going above 130. I think Valdez wants to fight Shakur Stevenson. Do you like, Yard? I'll put it this way, Rob. I want to like Yard. I think he looks like a kid that works hard, has a good work ethic. But, I mean, he had a moment in the Kovalev fight where I thought he was going to get the win. Like, I thought, oh, this is it. This is like passing of the torch a little bit for this kid. And I really question him, his skills overall. Physically, he's built like a freaking brick shithouse. He's incredible physique and everything. But I don't love his style as much. Sometimes brilliant, but gets stupid. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I don't like his lead hand so low. I really don't like that. I don't like that. I don't think he's still with Tunde, but if he still is with Tunde, he needs to get the hell out of there. I don't like the fact that he didn't spar before like major fights. You know, it's just like, he's interesting. You know who I'm wondering about, who I haven't seen? Yard must get the fight against Joe Smith. Yeah. Joe Smith, I think Yard right now, he's on a good trajectory. He just needs to keep winning. Let's see how he evolves. But whatever happened to Josh Kelly? I used to love watching Josh Kelly. But we know how that went. It's like he's gone. I haven't heard anything about Josh Kelly in like, I don't know how long. Other UK African guy. Are you talking about Joshua Buatsi? First name starts with a B or last name starts with a B? Joshua Buatsi is looking like he could be real deal. He had one fight where he looked rusty, but that's because COVID and he had been out of the ring for over about a year about. He looked rusty in that one fight, and since then he's taken proper steps. Oh, that's right. No, they were already replaced him. I just saw this on Twitter. Uh-oh, this fight's looking like it might be over. Last round, can he get the stoppage? Joe Smith makes defense against Steve Gefford. That's a good question, Rob. That's a really good question. If I'm Josh Taylor, I'm basically doing this. Do you stay at 140? Or do you start moving up to 147 and start trying to make waves? It's a really tough thing to call because obviously you got some new fresh meat at 140 with Teofimo Lopez. Now Josh has already said that like he's not going to give him that fight because Lopez like just came off a loss. There's just not as much meat on the bone anymore as there could be. I think Josh Taylor gets the mandatory and then weighs options in terms of what he could do. Bud Crawford no longer being with Top Rank hurts that chance. But I think poking the bear at 147 pounds is not a bad idea for Josh Taylor. For sure. Because he's big enough, I think, to move up. And plus, he's probably killing himself to make weight. You know? There's no one else there for him, I feel like. I mean, he could stay at 140 and just be king at 140. Unless he finds big money at 147 pounds. That's the only thing. There's some kind of like big money deal he can make. Maybe he goes for it, but otherwise, I don't know. So, all right, guys. Fights are over. Thank you for being here. We'll be live on Wednesday for, you know, boxing news, tweets of the week. Go check out my YouTube. I'll have a bunch of videos posted and stuff like that. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys had fun, and I will see you guys later.